One day, a Rolex Daytona decided to get married to an Explorer 2. After consummating that marriage, they produced a beautiful offspring which they called Tudor Aeronaut GMT. From its elegant case to its sporty functionality, this Tudor Sports GMT has been mostly missed by the mainstream. Stick around as I share my honest thoughts on this marvellous watch from Tudor. Welcome back, guys. I don't say this very often about watches, but I have here in my hands an absolutely beautiful timepiece. A watch that so much thought and design has gone into its inception. From the way the watch functions, to its legibility, its beautiful style, and that's not even mentioning its superb attention to detail. From the case finishing to its comfort. I hope the excitement in the tone of my voice resonates clearly, as this is a very special timepiece and I believe it deserves all the love it can get. Hats off to Tudor. From its elegant case to its sporty functionality, this Tudor Sports GMT has been mostly missed by the mainstream. It is an exotic and very unusual styling concept from Tudor, and yes, I take off my hat to their design team for producing such a wonderful timepiece. Now, as you saw in the intro, I said that this is a marriage between a Rolex Daytona and an Explorer 2. And if you look at the case, it borrows its shape and curves from the Daytona whilst beautifully marrying the GMT functionality and the bezel from the Explorer 2. There are so many reasons to be gobsmacked with a watch like this, and if you haven't already noticed, there's multiple pushes and crowns. And I'll demonstrate not only how seamlessly they work, but allow this watch to perform as it was intended, a true GMT. Let's look at this watch. The watch features a 40mm diameter solid case with downturned lugs, and it has a flat fixed bezel with a combination of high gloss and brushed sheen finishing. The stainless steel bezel features engraved Arabic numerals with a 24-hour GMT second time zone format. The dial is a beautiful matte black finish with luminous baton indices. There's even detail in the chaptering with minute red T hour indicators, T for Tudor. And the red center sweep hand has an elegant luminous arrow which indicates the GMT time zone. And there is also a silver second sweep hand. The applied Tudor logo and markers catch the light and offer a sparkle in the eye to remind you that you have a luxury watch on your wrist. The watch also features a screw-down crown and screw-down pushers at 2, 4 and 8, which allow for 150 meters of water resistance. And with a solid screw-down case back, this seamlessly integrates into the case. It's beautiful, it's wonderful. Now this is where the watch gets very interesting and extremely desirable. Let's have a look at the watch's case dimensions. The watch has a case diameter of 40mm, with a case height of 10.2. The lug-to-lug distance is 46.2 and a lug width of 21mm. So this watch wears like an absolute dream watch. I'm going to put it on my wrist to show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so there you go. So that's what it sits like on my 7-inch wrist. And as you can see, the profile is absolutely superb. This is such a nice watch. It hugs the wrist, the small lug-to-lug distance, the 40mm case size, the 10.2mm case height. Superb. It's exactly what a watch of this caliber should be. And you know what? The flat sapphire crystal is doing an amazing job. The clarity of that dial is superb. In different lighting situations, it's just beaming, it's glowing, it's wonderful. I'll take the watch off to show you guys a few things. If you have a look, we have a signed screw-down crown. And obviously we have several pushers. Now I said this is a GMT watch, and you know what? This has Rolex's signature all over it. It's basically a Rolex badged as a Tudor, and I say that for a reason, because I've had several Rolexes on the channel, from Daytonas to Submariners and all the rest. And if you've ever had a Rolex in your hand, you know the finish, the feel, the attention to detail, the engine, the way the things operate, the way the crown unscrews and screws. It's got its particular signature. This is exactly like a Daytona. It feels exactly the same. The screw down experience, the way this, the finishing and the attention to detail is superb. And you know what? Hats off to Tudor for doing such a wonderful job. Now the movement of the watch is an ETA caliber 2892-2. It oscillates at 28,800 beats per hour. It's rhodium plated, self-compensating flat balance spring. It's basically the same movement that I have in my Omega Seamaster. There you go. So because they share the same base movement, they also share a lot of the same traits. As far as case size, very thin, and it's wonderful to have a thin automatic watch. It's you know, especially a watch of this caliber. It also shares the same accuracy figures. The Omega, as we know, is a COSC certified watch, and it runs at about 1 second per day. So does this. So does this. I've put it on the time grapher and it's basically gaining 1 second per day. A healthy amplitude of 305 degrees, 0.0 milliseconds beat error, so it's in perfect beat. The watch is superb. The watch is superb, and I've been wearing this for the better part of a week, and I'll tell you what, it's super accurate. It's such a joy to have a timepiece that's this size, this nice, and this accurate at the same time. So the movement is solid, it's tried and tested. The case itself, it's bulletproof. It offers exceptional quality and finishing to an extremely high tolerance and standard, just like Rolex would finish their watches. And you know what? It's got Rolex's DNA all over this. I love it. I absolutely love it. The applied high polished markers have the most subtle of curves in them, which manage to pick up beautiful reflections of light. This gives the watch a superb control shine and bling, which reminds the wearer that this is indeed a luxury brand allowing you to have some serious fun. You know what? Good on Tudor for designing such a joy and such a treat. Now, I'll explain how the GMT function works. It's very simple. Basically, we have 3 pushes, as you see here, the 2, the 4 and the 8 o'clock. And what these do, on the fly, if I was to travel from one country to another in a different time zone, you unclick that. So at the moment, these are locked down. These are all locked down, so it offers 150 meters of water resistance, just like the screw down crown. But as soon as you give it a half turn to the left, anti-clockwise, that loosens up the pusher. So what I can do now, if you have a look at the hour hand, I can go through and change the hour to the desired time zone. And with the 4 o'clock pusher, I can go backwards. So on the fly, I can adjust this. So it's a true GMT, which is wonderful. Now, with the 8 o'clock pusher, that allows me to cycle through the date. So I've unclicked it, and as you can see, 1, 2, 3, there you go. So I can cycle through the date seamlessly. Now that's wonderful, being able to go from one country to another, come back and simply readjust it without having to unscrew the crown. So superb. So with the GMT hand, you can keep one time zone, and with the hour hand and so forth, you can keep the local time zone, which is fantastic. A really, really impressive watch. I really like this, and I think the finishing is superb. The attention to detail is superb. You know, I really can't fault this watch. It's such a marvelous piece, and it's a shame. I honestly believe that majority of the mainstream watch enthusiasts have missed something like this. You know, we're looking at the current Black Bay Tudors, and to be honest, I was looking at a Black Bay myself. I was thinking, should I get a Black Bay 58? Should I get a GMT? Yeah, the Pepsi. What do I get? What do I get? And I did some research in some of Tudor's history, and you know what? This is superb. This is this was basically introduced in 2006, I believe. This is a 2012 model, and it runs like a dream. It wears like a dream. It's finishing, like I said, it's exceptional, second to none. That's Rolex's DNA in this, which is wonderful. Now, the only gripe I can find of the watch, if I was to be critical to say, look, what faults would I pick of this watch, would be the 21mm lug width. That's one of the things that I'm limited in strap choices. Obviously, I need to source some 21mm straps. The original strap that came on the watch, I'll show you guys. It's wonderful. There you go. It's just there. It's superb. Soft rubber self-fitting strap, and it's wonderful. It fits so comfortably on the wrist. This was designed ideally for this watch, and you know what? It's perfect. it's perfect. But being a 21mm is a bit of a bummer, because you know you have to go out there and source some 21mm straps. This particular strap I've put on it, it's a 22mm. I've managed to tuck it in, so, and it's obviously not form fitted for this particular watch, but I think ideally a watch like this would look wonderful on a black and red strap, whether it's a NATO, whether it's a leather with red stitching, or red strap with black stitching. But it just opens up such a variety. Even a tan leather strap would look wonderful on this. Now, in summing up on this watch, it's basically a modern sports cushion watch. It's very elaborate with its style, you know, with its 2, 4, 8 and 10 Arabic numerals. They lead the way, they show you the way. The lume, I'll show you the lume on this watch. As you can see, it's clean, it's simple, extremely easy to read. No issues whatsoever there. The placement of the date subdial at 6 o'clock, I think it's in the perfect position with balance and symmetry for form and function. But it doesn't stop there. The thing that makes this watch even more special, it's the fact that they've managed to have the, you know, 3 lockdown pushers, your screw down crown, your 150 meters of water resistance, your case height of 10mm, 40mm case diameter, the ETA movement, which is extremely accurate. It's running well within COSC certification. Like I said, the only negative I can find of a watch like this is the strap, the 21mm, and I believe the current Submariners are going down that same road as well. They're using 21mm, so that's the only thing I can find or fault of a watch like this. So I wanted to share that, guys. It's a wonderful timepiece, and I believe if we look on the secondary market and the pre-owned market, 5-10 years back, you can find some magic pieces. This is one of those pieces. This is one of those pieces. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I wanted to share a review on this watch. It is mine. It is mine. I purchased it. It will be staying with me for a long time, and it sits fantastic on the wrist. But look into some of our history, guys. We've got some beautiful timepieces. Sometimes we don't have to have the latest and greatest, you know, and just stepping back 5 years in time, we can find some beautiful pieces like this. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video.